welcome back. So what we're looking at today is lesson 16, two related quantities, part 1. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so what we're looking at here is painting the set. So Lynn needs to mix a specific shade of orange paint for the set of the school play. The color uses 3 parts yellow for every 2 parts red. So complete the table to show different combinations of red and yellow paint that will make the shade of orange Lynn needs. So we know the first combination, we've got 2 red, 3 yellow, for a total of how many cups? Well, 2 plus 3 is 5. Now, how did we go from 2 cups to 6 cups? So what would we have to multiply that by? We'd multiply times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, so that's how much yellow paint we'll need. And then 6 plus 9 is 15. And also if we multiplied 15 by 3, or 5 by 3, we would get 15. Now our next one, we know there's total of 20 cups of paint. So what do we have to multiply 5 by to get to 20? Well, that'd be times 4. So we're going to take 3 times 4, which is 12. And we're going to take 2 times 4, which would be 8. And 8 plus 12 does equal 20. All right, now our middle one here, we know how much yellow paint. There's 18. So what do we have to multiply 3 by to get to 18? Well, that'd be times 6. So 2 times 6 is 12. 5 times 6 is 30. And 12 plus 18 does equal 30. So far so good. So this is all just using our ratios and finding equivalent ones to find these missing values. So what about from 2 to 14? What would we multiply by? 7. 2 to 16, we multiplied by 8. So for this one, 3 times 7 is 21. 5 times 7 is 35. 3 times 8 is 24. And 5 times 8 is 40. So then 24 plus 16 does equal 40. 21 plus 14 does equal 35. So these are all working out each time. What about 50? How'd we go from 5 to 50? We multiplied by 10. So 3 times 10 is 30. 2 times 10 is 20. 20 plus 30 is indeed 50. All right, and our last one. How'd we get from 3 all the way to 42? Well, that would be times 14. So 2 times 14 is going to give us 28, and 5 times 14 is going to give us 70. All right, so now we have this table with all these different values. So Lynn notices that the number of cups of red paint is always 2/5 of the total number of cups. She writes the equation R equals 2/5 T to describe the relationship. Which is the independent variable? Which is the dependent variable? Explain how you know. So remember, independent variable, you think back to your science classes, independent variable is the one that does not rely on anything else. It's completely separate. So in this, it's going to be the T because it's not affected by anything else. T just is what it is, and then we multiply the 2/5 to it to get what our R value is. So independent variable is T. Dependent variable then would be R. R depends on what T is because we take that T and multiply it by 2/5 and that gives us our R. So that's kind of how you can think about it. All right, write an equation that describes the relationship between R and Y, where Y is the independent variable. So for this, Y is going to represent yellow. So relationship between R and Y, that's going to be 2/3. Take 2/3. So we're going to have R equals 2/3 Y. So we're writing algebraic equations. So algebraic is your keyword for this lesson. All right, next we want to write an equation that describes the relationship between Y and R, where R is the independent variable. So that means it's going to be a Y equals something R. Well, if we were to solve this one for Y, because that's essentially what we're doing, we're just switching which variable is dependent and independent. So we'd divide by 2/3, which is the same as multiplying by 3/2. So it just flips that ratio. So remember, we've done these before where we flip the ratio to go the other direction. So same thing here when we're writing our algebraic equations. All right, use the points in the table to create two graphs that show the relationship between r and y. Match each relationship to one of the equations you wrote. So here we're looking at our cups of yellow paint and cups of red paint. This time the x-axis is red paint, the y-axis is yellow paint. So we're just flipping these. So in cups of red paint, we had 2, and then it'd be 3 for the yellow paint. And I'm going to zoom in on this so we can see this a lot better. There we go. All right, so we had the 2 and 3. That was one of ours. We also had 6 cups of red paint for 9 of our yellow. We had 8 and 12. I'm looking off the table on my paper. You can follow along with the table in yours. We had 12 and 18. We had 14 and 21. We had 16 and 24. We had 20 and 30. And we had 28, which is this one, and 42 right there. So if we drew a line through these points, that would be our graph. That'd be our equation for the y equals, let's see, red dependent, the r equals 2/3 y. So then in this one, we're going to do it the other way. So we're just flipping these values. So now yellow is our dependent. And so we're going to be at 3 and 2. So it's all these same values, 3 and 2, 6, oh, wait, 3 and 2, 9 and 6. It's confusing looking at the table the other direction. 12 and 8, 18 and 12, 21 and 14, 24 and 16, 30 and 20, and 42, so all the way over there, and 28. It's right there. So the graphs look different, but they represent the same situation, just flipping which is dependent and which is independent from our algebraic equations. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.